meetings that were specifically to address the actions of board members, those aren't protected. Those need to be released at some point in time. And whenever the issue is resolved, and generally speaking, when there's a discussion about the action of a board member, that issue is resolved then. The action's discussed. There's a decision made which way or what's going to happen with regard to the action of that board member.
My advice to the commission was to follow the law. So if you're asking me to make a generalized comment about what's happened in the past, and somehow you're using that to say that I had advised the commission incorrectly, that's totally not what happened at that meeting. And so whatever is necessary to be released, if there's an issue that was discussed in non-public that wasn't of a non-public nature or wasn't exempted under the right to know law, then those should be released. And that's my position. And I don't understand what point you're trying to make, because that's what I've always told the commission. And all I made was a statement as to, how it's going to be corrected. If that's what the consensus of the board was, that would take a lot of time. And then someone tried to use that statement to say that we don't have enough time to comply with the law. That's not what I said. I said that we need to comply with the law, and I think the commission has agreed to comply with the law. And it's just that simple.
Well, in fact, it is just that simple in that, on the one hand, we're giving generalized advice. On the other hand, we've got a commission that's taking that advice verbatim. So when you say something to the effect of it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of review without delineating what that time and what that review consists of, the commissioners are taking that advice from you as an attorney, as the county attorney. There's no delineation as to what amount of review needs to be done or anything else. It's just a generalized statement. And you're correct. That's exactly what your statement was. Unfortunately, the way your statement was received by the public and by the commission was that it's an onerous task that probably is not going to get done. In addition to that, the generalized statement that you made, which is correct, that you can't, make something of someone's reputation, make some bad reference to someone, or have someone thought of badly in the community. That is generally a correct statement. But the commissioners read that, obviously, or they would have released the minutes, to mean everybody who's named in a non-public meeting is protected.
I think
the problem that we had, or just so I can finish up, I think the problem was that you were giving general advice, which was correct. They were seeing it as specific advice and doing nothing.
Well, that Mr. Albee, is your interpretation.
Well, you haven't released any minutes.
That's true,
Not
and
yet.
we will release them on a case-by-case basis, depending on whether they should or they shouldn't be released. And we will confer with the county attorney regarding those particular cases that we feel that could be released. Okay?
And what's your time frame, Mr. Commissioner? I mean, we've been talking about releasing non-public minutes for over 9 months now,
Yeah.
and nothing has happened. So I'm wondering, what is your time frame?
As far as
Do you
I
think
know
sometime
right now, there's
this
nothing
year?
in there that should be released.
There is no meeting at all.
There's nothing in there that should be released to the public that was sealed, right, as I see it right now. Okay? Maureen, you had a comment
Nope.
regarding? No, I thought your hand up. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
I just had a quick question.
Yes,
What's the rule? How long can sealed minutes stay sealed? Is there a specific law where it can stay?
there's no time limit, I don't believe.
There's no time
I don't
limit.
believe there's a time limit, but I mean, the issue is that you've had different Board of Commissioners, different issues. I'm not sure of the record keeping. All those issues have come up in public and have been discussed at these boards and these public hearings over the last, 10 or 20 years. And I'm not giving a generalized statement as to what the timetable should be or anything else. I think this commission needs to deal with it how they see fit. They are the elected body, and they'll do as they have been elected to do.
Well, just for clarification, I don't want to beat this dead horse too much, but obviously, or supposedly, the current non-public meeting that just happened regarded some litigation.
Yeah.
What's your estimated time for that litigation to be resolved and the minutes of this meeting today to be released?
It's up to the court.
Yeah, well, discussions of how this board proceeds regarding an ongoing litigation or a past litigation or decisions that are, those are not part of the public right to know. And when a case gets settled, those are public, and the decisions are public in the court. And depending on what the nature of those discussions were, but even just generalized discussions with counsel are not part of the right to know minutes.
With counsel?
That's right.
Correct.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to move on.
Yeah.
That's all.
Thank you, County Attorney.
Thank you.
Let's go to Jason Johnson.
Thanks, Tom.
Morning, Commissioners. Good morning.
Population this morning, we had 59 in-house, 1 weekender. We had 8 transfers, 4 on electronic monitoring, 17 on pretrial release, for a total population of 89. Took in 14 inmates last week, 7 were repeaters, and released 8. Repeater charges, 1 came in for an electronic bench warrant, booked 2 times in 2 years. 1 for a violation of a restraining order, booked 2 times in 7 years. 1 for protective custody, booked 2 times in 6 years. 1 for a violation of restraining order, booked 2 times in 5 years. 1 for a capias, booked 2 times in 2 years. 1 for protective custody, booked 7 times in 4 years. 1 for a capias, booked 4 times in 14 years. 2 weeks ago, I left in the business office a copy of the Ed Options contract for review. This is that company that we could use for providing GED
Right.
schooling for the inmates. It's electronic based. I would like to move forward on that contract. We worked out the price to the sum of $2,305, which would give us enough licensing to get us through till December of next year. So I would have to budget for 2013 in my next year's budget, which would be reduced from that amount. So I'd like to see if we can move on that to get them in as soon as possible.
Who picks up the textbooks and all the,
There's no textbooks.
This
It's
is
all
online.
It's all online. Yes.
Okay.
Online.
but you got an asterisk down here that says textbook required.
Right, but in that list there, I didn't see any asterisks up there.
Yeah, right.
You said that should the inmate leave jail
Mhm.
prior to actually getting the GED,
Mhm.
he or she could continue on at Kennedy?
Yes, in the Conway Adult School Program. Mhm.
Yeah, is that a program that they would have to pay for, by the way? Would you know?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Just question.
I would move that we sign the contract.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? It's covered in your budget
Yes,
through, this is contract through next year.
yes. And then I just have for next year's budget, or 2012 budget, I'd have to budget for 2013.
Okay. Okay. Any further discussion? All those in support of the motion, say aye. Aye. So voted.
had to send an inmate out to the prison last week on an administrative transfer, and then we did a swap, so they sent us one from them because they had a housing issue with that person. Yesterday, I had a inmate break a sprinkler head in one of their cells. So we contacted the sheriff's office to do an investigation for disorderly conduct or false public alarm. Ended up locking the institution down to deal with the matter. And so they're gonna handle the criminal charges.
In that case, the fire department was called automatically or not?
No,
No.
no, we didn't call them. We had it set up that way. My understanding is the fire chief was on board with that from years ago because we're a manned institution. I do have one issue to bring up in non-public for employee discipline, and I could come back for that.
Okay, yeah, come back for that one.
Please.
Do you have a time when you'd like me to be back at?
Probably 10:15.
Okay.
Okay,
That's all I have.
all right, good. Thank you.
Mhm.
Sandy?
Morning.
Good morning.
Bob, would you like to go first?
Yes, please. Thank you. What I have for you today is a contract for a one-year fire alarm monitoring for the annex. That is about to expire, and since that is a functioning building in conjunction with the nursing home, laundry and maintenance facilities, we need to keep that fire alarm system operational. And it was up for renewal in August, and instead of signing a one-year renewal, I signed a 3-month renewal in the intent that I was going to explore night security. Their price is lower than the contract that was existing in the building, which was approximately $340 for a one-year contract. Night security is $288. They're going to charge us a one-time fee for programming the system to their system. And that's it. I just need a...
And again, this contract is good for how long a period?
1 year.
1 year. Anybody want to make a motion?
Could I ask a question for
Sure.
clarification? This will no longer be on the Mountain View community budget, correct? This is then now on the
Annex.
annex, is that?
You're pretty sharp. I gotta give you credit. Okay. Well, the laundry is being done for the new nursing home, and the maintenance is being done for the new nursing home, so I'm not sure I would agree with that 100%, but I would be willing to discuss the issue.
Because there's a lot of things that will, as we look at our budget moving forward, that we have to take into consideration. That was the reason why I asked the question.
Yeah.
There's a generator, because now we'll have 2 generators, that, so there are some areas that we have to make a decision, and I'm not pushing it today.
Yeah.
But I think it's really, it needs to be, well thought out as we work through the budgetary process.
Yeah.
Does this cover just the main core of the building or the...
Well, currently, it's the entire building.
So...
Well, the alarm system is a singularity, no matter how many
Oh, so there's
smoke
no price
detectors are on
reduction
it.
when...
No.
Okay.
It's a singularity.
And the other thing is that generator runs the whole system sewage treatment plant. So that shouldn't really be charged all to the nursing home either.
So there has to be some, yeah.
So we
it's-
need to look at those
Absolutely.
kinds of things.
Yeah.
I would move that we approve the $488 for night security alarm on Wolfboro.
Oh. I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstain? So voted.
Thank you. I just need one signed copy. should have that.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Mountain View